My digestion was an absolute train wreck, and it was wrecking every other part of my life too. I remember hitting rock bottom. No, it wasn't just one single dramatic moment. I started to think that I was slowly realizing that I may be slowly losing control of my body once again. My digestion was an absolute train wreck, and it was wrecking every other part of my life too. I was constantly painfully bloated. I'm talking about things like having to unbutton my pants after every single meal. I was exhausted all the time, this deep in your bones kind of tired that sleep couldn't touch. My skin was a mess, my mood was in the toilet, and my world just kept getting smaller. Going out with friends wasn't fun anymore. It was a source of anxiety. I was terrified of eating the wrong thing and setting off another round of pain and misery. If any of that sounds familiar, if you're feeling that way right now, I see you. And more importantly, I want you to know there's a way out. This isn't about some magic pill or a crazy restrictive diet you can't stick with. This is about getting your life back. So today, I'm going to share the exact food swaps and simple daily routines that completely turned my gut health around. For years, I was at war with my own gut. It started small, a little extra bloating here, some heartburn there, but it got worse. Soon, I had what felt like a textbook case of IBS, acid reflux, and a whole list of other confusing symptoms. Some days I was constipated, other days it was the exact opposite. My stomach was just in a constant state of chaos. So I did what we all do. I went to the doctors. I saw specialists who gave me different diagnoses and prescriptions that just felt like putting a Band-Aid on the problem. They never got to the root cause. I was told to pop antacids, then stronger pills. I had procedures done, and the results were always so frustratingly vague. It just felt like nobody was really listening, and I'd just get sent home with another pamphlet and another prescription. That gut-brain connection, it's no joke. When your gut is constantly screaming in distress, it sends those signals straight to your brain. I was anxious, irritable, and the brain fog made it hard to do my job or even be present with the people I loved. For me, the turning point wasn't some new diagnosis or a miracle cure. It was a shift in how I was thinking about it. I started digging for information, but from a different angle, not just medical journals, but stories from real people who had actually healed themselves. This is why I started this channel, to give you both medical but also some real-life remedies that have worked for others. I started to understand that my issues were probably more about the gut-brain connection and my whole lifestyle, not some specific disease. The big aha moment was realizing my gut was in a state of chronic inflammation. I learned that inflammatory foods were basically keeping my immune system on high alert, so my body didn't have time to actually heal anything. I started to see my gut not as a bunch of symptoms. The goal wasn't just to stop the pain, it was to help my body heal completely. I'm not a doctor, I'm a natural remedies consultant. So always talk to your doctor and always listen to your body. This is just my story, what I learned, and what worked for me. Your journey might look different, but my hope is that by sharing mine, I can empower you to start yours. The goal wasn't just to stop the pain, it was to help my body heal completely. Okay, this is the heart of how I did it. And it wasn't about depriving myself, it was all about making smart swaps and adding more of the good stuff in. First, I had to kick out the main troublemakers that were causing all that inflammation. For me, that meant way less ultra-processed food, refined sugar, and inflammatory oils. Think packaged snacks, sugary drinks, and most store-bought sauces and dressings. They are loaded with sugar and unhealthy fats. Then I started making these simple but powerful swaps. Swap number 1 is white bread and pasta for whole grain and legume-based options. So I ditched the fluffy white bread for real whole grain sourdough or 100% whole wheat. And instead of regular pasta, I started buying pasta made from chickpeas or lentils. That stuff is packed with protein and fiber that your gut loves. Swap number 2 is sugary cereal and yogurt for gut-friendly breakfast. So those flavored yogurts with the fruit on the bottom, they're often sugar bombs that feed the bad bacteria in your gut. I swapped them for plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt or kefir, and I just add my own fresh berries and a handful of nuts. And instead of sugary cereal, I switched to oatmeal with fruit and seeds. Swap number 3 is processed meats and snacks for whole foods. I cut way back on processed meats like deli slices and bacon, which are known to cause gut inflammation. I started focusing on lean proteins like chicken, fish, and especially lentils and tofu. For snacks, Instead of chips, I'd grab a handful of almonds or walnuts or some crunchy carrots and peppers with hummus. Swap number 4 is soda and sugary drinks for water and herbal tea. This was huge. I made water my go-to drink. Water is essential for helping fiber do its job and keeping things moving, which helps with constipation. When I wanted something with flavor, I'd go for herbal teas like ginger or peppermint. I also got into kombucha, which is a fermented tea that's full of probiotics. Beyond those swaps, I really focused on 2 big ideas. Principle 1. Fiber is your best friend. Something like 90% of Americans don't get enough fiber, which is basically the best food for your good gut bacteria. So I made it my mission to slowly up my intake. My goal was to eat at least 30 different types of plant-based foods every week. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's easier than you think. It's all your fruits, veggies, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and beans. We're talking leafy greens, berries, beets, cocoa, coffee, nuts. It all counts. And principle 2 is to embrace fermented foods. Fermented foods are amazing because they deliver good bacteria, probiotics, straight to your gut. So I started small, adding a spoonful of sauerkraut to my lunch, or a little kimchi with my dinner, or drinking a small glass of kefir. These foods really help create a balanced and happy gut. Here's my daily routines that changed everything. My first routine was mindful eating. Sounds simple or obvious, but it was a game changer. I stopped eating while driving, walking, or staring at a screen. I made myself sit down, slow down, and actually chew my food. Chewing is literally the first step of digestion. It tells your body to get the right enzymes ready and helps you absorb way more nutrients. Plus, it stops you from swallowing extra air, which means less bloating. My second routine was being strategic about hydration. When you wake up, your body is naturally dehydrated. So the first thing I started doing was drinking a big glass of water before I had anything else. It really helps wake up your digestive system. I also made a point to drink water between meals, not with them, so I wasn't diluting my digestive juices. My third routine was daily movement. But wait, no worries, you don't have to go run a marathon. Just regular, gentle movement helps get things moving in your gut and can actually make your gut microbes more diverse. I started with a simple 20-minute walk after dinner. It really helps with digestion and keeps things flowing smoothly. Routine number 4 is prioritizing sleep and stress. Stress is a gut killer. It messes with your digestion and puts your body in fight or flight mode. I started a simple nighttime routine to unwind. No screens for an hour before bed, reading a book. Making sure I got 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep gave my gut the time it needed to rest and repair overnight. My final routine. Routine number 5 is meal timing. I stopped snacking all day long. I started giving my gut a real break by waiting at least 3 to 4 hours between meals. This lets your digestive system actually finish its job from the last meal. I also stopped eating big meals right before bed. I have my last bite 2 to 3 hours before I lie down. The first thing I noticed, less bloating. My stomach just felt calmer. Then my energy came back, that constant fatigue started to lift, and I began waking up feeling rested for the first time in years. My skin cleared up, the brain fog was gone, but the biggest change was the feeling of freedom and not feeling scared to eat because I now know how to eat without the fear of pain, bloating, or emergency trips to the bathroom. My mental health did a complete 180. I felt more resilient, happier, and just more like myself. It is not an exaggeration to say that healing my gut gave me my life back. It taught me how to listen to my body and see how everything from how food, stress, and sleep are all connected. So, that's my story. It wasn't a quick fix. It was about making small, steady changes that added up. It was about taking out the things that were hurting me and intentionally adding in the things that heal. The biggest thing I learned is that healing is absolutely possible. Your body has an amazing ability to repair itself if you just give it the right tools. If you're struggling right now, I really hope this gives you a little hope and a few real things you can start trying today. I would love for us to build a community around longevity, mindfulness, healthy alternatives, and becoming just a better you. Please share your story in the comments. What's been your biggest challenge with gut health? Or what's one small change that made a huge difference for you? Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Thanks so much for watching. If this was helpful, please think about subscribing for more videos on real sustainable health. And remember to be patient and kind to yourself on this journey. You can do this.